Hi everyone and welcome to the Mae Cave. My name is Maegan and today I'm going to do a book review. So the duology that I'm going to review today is the Sisi duology by Alison Pataki. The first book is Accidental Empress and the second book is Sisi, Empress on Her Own. These books are about the life of Empress Elizabeth of Austria-Hungary. They start when she was 15 years old. The first book ends when she was about 29 in 1867. The second book starts the next year in 1868 and ends in the year of her death in 1898 when she is 60 years old. So the book is about her becoming Empress and her dealing with the very big change from her childhood and then just being Empress all of a sudden at 16 years old. So what happens is, in the beginning, this is history so there's no spoilers or anything, she and her sister Helene, they left Bavaria, which was part of Germany, which was now Germany, which back then was just Bavaria. They left their home to go to Vienna to meet Emperor Franz Joseph, who was their cousin. They haven't seen him since they were little kids and they don't remember what he's like, but Elizabeth's sister, her elder sister Helene, was supposed to marry the emperor, but instead the emperor fell in love with her and they ended up marrying. They got through, they fell in love, and the next year they got married, so she was married at 16, and then the rest of her life is just back and forth with the Viennese court and how she dealt with it, because it's very different from how she grew up. She grew up with almost no rules, even though she was a duchess. They were over a smaller part, and she just was always out and about in the wilderness, riding her horse or doing other things, and the rigidness of the Viennese court was very different from what she was used to, and it was hard for her to acclimate. And it didn't help that her mother-in-law was very demanding and very over your shoulder, and she didn't like Elizabeth at all. But this is about her life, Elizabeth's life as Empress. But I also think that the author was trying to make Empress Elizabeth look better, at least for us to see her in a better light, because in real life she is seen as selfish and vain, and she left her family a lot, and she does put all of that in the book, but she tries to show her softer side and show reasons why she was the way she was in real life. And so there were parts in which I liked Elizabeth and parts in which I didn't like her. She did have some serious flaws, and I understand where it came from. When she first moved into the court and she was first Empress, she got pregnant really quickly and she had a few children, but every pregnancy her mother-in-law was very always there, and as soon as her babies were born, her mother-in-law took over and she hardly ever got to see her children. Once she finally had her fourth child, she was able to take a little more control of her fourth child, but throughout the rest of the books, she didn't really pay too much attention to her older children, even after her mother-in-law dies. And that's part that I didn't like, is that she let her emotions take over. She went through a lot in her life, she had a lot of, sicknesses, but she was selfish and she was vain, and I think sometimes she was a little blind to how other people felt or how she could have helped her children later in life instead of just doing what it is that she did in the book. There are some points in which I was really upset at what her choices were in the book, and one that actually made me cry, something that she did that affected one of her children negatively, and it actually made me cry because I was really upset that she let her emotions get the best of her in that situation. She completely just, kind of ignored this thing that was going on. And, even though she loved her children greatly, I don't think she did all she could have done when she was alive and they were still in her life before she died. But Elizabeth, I think, there were some good parts to her, there were some bad parts to her. The overall plot, though, the storyline itself, I really enjoyed. It was interesting to get a glimpse into the royal life of, the emperors and empresses and their family in Vienna during the 1800s. I think it's definitely a worthwhile read, at least reading it once. But there's something about Elizabeth that I didn't care for in the books. I think even though the author tried, her character itself is just, she does have those bad flaws that make her make bad decisions. Overall, though, I did enjoy the books. I liked the first one more than I liked the second one. I did cry a few times in the second one, but I would recommend these to anyone who likes historical fiction, just to give them a try. Maybe you'll like it more than I do, maybe you won't, but I think they're worth reading at least once. That is it for my book review today. Well, hopefully you liked the video, and if you have any criticism for me, please let me know down below, because this is my first book review and I'm not 100% sure I did everything correctly, or if I, messed up here or there, or if I could have spoken more about something of the book that maybe I didn't. But, just let me know down below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!